Hello, and welcome back to your latest episode of 60 Minutes. This program is brought to you by the Wright Sisters. JFK was murdered, assassinated if you will, on November 22nd, 1963, the 35th President of the United States. You would think that presidents would learn to get better security after Abraham Lincoln, but that did not happen. In fact, it was easier to track down Lincoln's killer than Kennedy's.
Dun, dun, dun!
So who did it? Well, in order to understand this, we have to go back to mid-April of 1961, which contained the historical invasion of Cuba. Fidel Castro had become a communist dictator, and he was in cahoots with the Soviet Union. However, Kennedy refused to allow the CIA and American troops to attack Cuba. Instead, he took advantage of about 1,400 Cuban refugees who hated what Castro did to their country. JFK had the CIA train these exiles only to be severely outnumbered at the Bay of Pigs. 100 attackers were killed, and over 1,100 were captured. There was little fight. JFK used the anger pent up inside these Cubans to fight a battle that was not theirs to fight. Not only this, but no backup was sent to the exiles, almost guaranteeing a loss against Castro's 20,000-person army. Following the incident, General Charles P. Cabell, Deputy Director of the CIA, went around Washington calling President Kennedy a traitor. This solicited the Santo Trafficante Jr., one of the most powerful mafia bosses in history, to want to kill the president after the CIA had attempted to previously take out Trafficante himself. He controlled organized criminal operations in Florida and Cuba, which had previously been more powerful than several rival gangs by his father, Santo Trafficante Sr., reputedly the most powerful crime boss in Batista-era Cuba. Trafficante never was sent to prison for any crime committed. He was a multi-billionaire due to his work in organized crime. What was to make this crime any different? He had the motive and definitely the means to take down Kennedy, both money and loyal followers. Our next point is Trafficante. His right-hand man, Carlos Marcello's intent to kill JFK. A Las Vegas entrepreneur, Ed Becker, admitted he had talked to Carlos Marcello, known as the Godfather, in the New Orleans unorganized crime operations. Marcello confessed in September 1962 that he would take care of Robert Kennedy and that he would recruit some nut, a.k.a. Lee Harvey Oswald, to kill JFK so that it couldn't be traced back to him, according to several accounts. Marcello told Becker that the dog will keep biting you if you only cut off its tail, but the biting would end if the dog's head was cut off. President Kennedy is explained to be the dog, and the Attorney General is the tail. Becker's information that Marcello was going to arrange the murder of JFK was reported to the FBI, though the FBI says it has no records of the Marcello or the Trafficante threats, nor of wiretaped remarks of Trafficante and Marcello in 1975 that only they knew who killed Kennedy. This was because they were good at their job and knew how to clean up their mess. All of this brings us to November 22nd, 1963. JFK's plane landed in Dallas for the next part of his presidential campaign. Upon arrival, JFK and Governor Connolly entered a convertible, along with their wives, to take them to the Trade Mart. The top had been left off as it was no longer raining. Crowds of people lined up along the street, hoping to catch a glimpse of the president. Soon the car turned onto Dealey Plaza. Then, at 12:30 p.m., everything changed. Gunshots echoed throughout the plaza. From the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository, Lee Harvey Oswald fired the 3 bullets. One bullet struck JFK in the neck and then hit Governor Connolly in the chest. The other bullet bashed into the back of JFK's head, killing him instantly. This was the end of President John F. Kennedy. To avoid blame, the CIA and the mob blamed the assassination on Oswald. It is not a coincidence that Oswald was killed before he was able to properly be questioned and transferred into prison. Why else would a guilty man be killed by Jack Ruby, a known member of the mafia, before he was convicted? Furthermore, the CIA's files were all burned. Coincidence? We think not. With Oswald dead and the files burned, there was no way to trace the murder back to him. And thank you for joining us on our latest episode of 60 Minutes.